Let's get started. Oh, there's some drawings on the slide there. That's interesting.
That was me. Sorry,
Were you?
I drew
Oh,
spoons on the previous slide. I drew some
oh,
spoons, but in the coffee, but it doesn't work. It
oh, well, that's cute.
doesn't work on this slide. So let me
Improvising already, David.
so let, doesn't work on this slide when there's no coffee cup. So I'll erase
Oh,
it.
okay. No moustaches on my face, please. Right, let's let the last few in. I'm sure we'll have more people. Oh, Joanne can hear the birds from my end. No way. Right, here we go. Hello and welcome. We have, how many people have we got, David? 49 and counting. We
Yeah,
actually had 270 register for this. Brave souls, welcome. We're
I'm
thrilled
just
to see.
spamming the admit button. I'm just
Yeah,
spamming.
yeah. Yeah, really happy to see so many people here and wanting to get comfortable. Someone from Ohio, hi Eleni. Wanting to get comfortable with mistakes and imperfection. Honestly, there's so much opportunity in these things. And yes, we'll be doing this all through the medium of improv. For those of you unfamiliar with improv or improv comedy, it's an art form, type of theatre where everything is made up on the spot. It can range from games that you might have seen on TV, like Whose Line Is It Anyway, to whole plays or musicals made up on the spot from a single suggestion. Shall we do a quick intro, David, on like
Yeah,
who we are and why we love improv?
sure. Hi everyone. I am David Papa. Thank you very much for joining. I'm very happy to be here doing this with you. I work in the corporate world doing trainings. I work with Think Productive. We have some great programs that we deliver together. And I also work with people one on one to help them discover their power and their voice and their freedom. And improv is a beautiful way to access all of those things because when we're doing improv, we are in the moment. We have to be present. We have to access parts of ourselves that we don't normally access. And I've been performing improv on stage, and we do our shows for donation here in Prague, Czech Republic, but technically we do get paid. So I'm a professional improviser for 5 years. And if you're ever in Prague, you can come check us out. And I love it because the type of feeling and experience you have in doing improv is different than almost everything else I do. However, maybe what we'll discover more along the way here is how similar it is to how actually life works.
Mm.
That's a little teaser. How about you, Elena?
Yeah, well, I am Elena Kerrigan, Managing Director of Think Productive, and I've been doing improv for 10 years. I can't believe it's been that long. I should be really good by now. Um, but I do it because it's just so much fun. I get guaranteed laughter every week at my rehearsals, and yes, you can rehearse improv. So yeah, that's what I do. It's just for the joy, pure joy. We are going to introduce you to improv today. This is the agenda. We are here for 45 minutes. Our plan is to introduce you to the joy and power of improv, how it has a place at work, and we'll take you through some of the basic rules, and then we'll invite you to turn on your cameras and mics and have a play at some improv games in a lovely, safe environment. Well, if you're not comfortable, turn your cameras on and playing. You can just watch along, okay? But we will try and make it feel like a supportive environment, okay? Our hope for today is that you have some fun and also experience what it feels like to safely get things wrong or imperfect and use your listening superpowers, because we've all got them, to build unexpected things collaboratively. And if it all goes according to plan, then we're hoping that you'll have some ideas and games to take back to use in your own workplaces and meetings. So let's get started. David, what place does improv have at work?
Oh, improv at work. No, we should never improvise at work. Work needs to be controlled and needs to be on the plan. We need to have agendas for everything. When you start playing improv, you start realizing that the skills that improv trains are mapped really, really closely to the skills we want in our leaders and in our teammates. In fact, they're the skills we probably want to have to be the highest level collaborators we can be in our workplace, whether that's remote or in person. In the current environment where there's just so much change, we need to be so flexible with everything that's happening. Improv trains the exact skills we need for that kind of environment, like resilience, like listening, learning how to trust each other on a deeper level, finding your voice, knowing when to speak up, knowing when to step back, knowing when to step forward. And of course, the anti-perfectionism, the being okay with mistakes, being willing to take a risk. And even if it doesn't work out exactly as you think it will, your team is supporting you and you're supporting the others so that you turn it into something good. You make forward progress anyway. You know, there's that whole idea that perfection is the enemy of done, and perfection is the enemy of progress. So improv kind of breaks those habits where we get more comfortable with just showing up in the moment with what's really true for us, what's really in our hearts, in our being, that we can contribute. And we don't have to solve the whole problem. We don't have to have all the answers, because in an improv show or in an improv game, that's impossible. You have to do it with your teammates. So improv is a very interesting kind of metaphor or mirror of life and work. So as we play and as you discover how it feels, and many of you have done improv already, will know already, but as you play today, you'll see what you can apply directly to your work environments with your team and as yourself to show up as a better leader or collaborator.
Oh, thank you, David. I can attest that all of that is true. So, making things up on the spot can be terrifying. I can also attest to that. And it can be hard to get out of your head. But the sooner you start trusting what I call the 3 truths of improv, the more you'll be able to kind of silence that inner critic that we've all got. Number 1, first truth, you're not doing it alone. As David just said, you're building the scene or the story together. There's no pressure on one person to bring all the answers or to make the scene good, right? It's a supportive, collaborative art form, all right? Number 2, really forget about trying to be funny, quick, or clever, or make up jokes. Or the humor comes naturally from replying authentically as your character, or just from the situation. So just trust that, and it will take a lot of the pressure off. And then the third truth is that mistakes, they're good. Often the best bits of improv come from those mistakes. And if something silly happens, everyone just goes with it. You own the mistake collectively and you build from it. If someone says something ridiculous or that doesn't make sense, that's the new reality. So hold on to those 3 truths, and you'll be silencing that inner critic a little bit more. There's also 3 rules that will make it loads easier to do, and it will make you a better scene partner as well. The first one is the fundamental rule of improv: yes, and. This is accepting the offer made by your scene partner and then building on it. So can we do a quick example, David?
Absolutely.
Of you responding in a yes and way, accepting the offer I'm giving you and building on it. Okay, so here's my line: hands up, I've got a gun.
Oh my God, don't take my car.
Brilliant. So there, David has accepted that what I was pretending to hold in my hand as a gun, and he's added to it as well. He's added some information. If he'd said, that's not a gun, it's a banana, he might have gotten a cheap laugh, but he'd be denying the reality had just set up, and the scene is then much harder to continue after that. So, you might need to drop the idea that you had in the second before I spoke, and that's just drop it, because building collaboratively is easier. So just remember, yes, and. The second rule is to listen. This is like a secret superpower, right? It's going to be doing all the heavy lifting instead of like working hard, trying to work out what to say next, right? Or trying to think of something to say. Just like listen to what's just been offered and respond to that. And what has been offered, it could just be a smile from your scene partner or a frown. Like that is also listening. So notice what's right in front of you and build on that. Again, great lesson for any relationships. And the third rule is to commit. So, if you've started the scene as a moany bus conductor, that's who you are. Commit to that 100% without apology, even if it feels embarrassing. If you're committed, so is the audience. Any quick thoughts on how that relates to work, David? Really quickly, because I want to get going with the games.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, I'm sure everyone has been in a meeting, right, where they shared an idea, and instead of hearing a big yes and from people around you, you've heard like a nah, well, yeah, but that probably won't work because of this, and no, that can't happen because of this, and you can feel how that energy, what that energy is like, and how that changes the conversation, how it shuts down ideas, how other people are less likely to now share ideas, you know, and and a lot of us have kind of a built-in, need to watch out for risks approach. And this is a yes and destroyer. Yes and is the default energy we want to have if we want to create really supportive work environments and if we want to create amazing improv scenes. Of course, listening, that's self-explanatory. Everybody wants to be listened to more carefully, and we all want to be better listeners because that makes us, when we slow down, we actually find opportunities in the moment that we would have missed otherwise. So that's really what one of the things Elena was trying to say. In an improv scene, you don't have to figure out how am I going to make the scene amazing. In fact, when you're not talking, just listen to what the other person is saying. They will give you a clue. They will give you what you need for you to say the next thing. And that's exactly how at work, strong listening can happen when we're not listening, already thinking about what we're going to say next. Because that's not really listening. We're listening with our whole self to whatever they're going to offer so that we can then build on that. And then, of course, committing is just when everybody is, even if somebody's a little bit confused or not sure what's going to happen, or there's a little bit of uncertainty, we agree, we're all in this together. And I've made a decision, I'm going for it, and let's see how it plays out. That's what makes improv scenes really funny.
Thank you. Okay. Just before we begin, a little note on safety and boundaries. So with improv, we look to build an atmosphere of safety and trust and support. In today's session, you'll most likely be playing with people you don't know, whose boundaries you don't know. As a famous improv teacher in the UK, Steve Rowe says, you don't have to edit yourself as long as you're coming from a place of fun, love, and respect for your fellow improviser. So let's just bear that in mind, try and steer clear of controversial topics, maybe that might upset people. It's natural when you're nervous to end up in these type of scenes, honestly. That's fine. Just try and steer the conversation away from that. Or you could just end the scene if you prefer. There's no explanation necessary. Just call scene to signal the end of the scene. Well, don't upset your gran. Yeah, basically, try not to say anything that might upset your gran. That's a good kind of rule. And then, get as involved as you feel comfortable doing. As I said before, if you want to just sit and watch, that's fine too. Okay, I'm going to stop the screen share now, and we're going to start playing some warm-ups.
There are a lot of people with cameras off, so
Okay.
I don't know how many of you knew you'd be actually playing today with your fellow colleagues, but it's okay. You can keep them off for the moment. We're gonna do, the way we're gonna play today is we're gonna do demos sometimes with the big group, but then we're gonna put you in breakout rooms so that you can just experiment with the games with a small group. So the best way for you to learn how this feels and how this works and to get the insights to apply into your working life as a leader and a collaborator is to just do it yourself. So just actually do some games. Yeah, not us talking about it. So we're gonna jump in. The first game we're gonna play is just a simple game for all of us. It's called Things in Common. And so you're gonna everybody start with their cameras off. Okay, and now
I'm just gonna stop the recording. I'm gonna pause the recording whenever we play any games together, and I'll bring it back in at the end when it's just us talking. Okay, just so everyone knows you won't be recorded.
Great.
Well, thanks everyone for sharing and for giving it all a good go. This is embarrassing stuff. You've put yourself in ridiculous situations. Um, can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to, and it's the PowerPoint, isn't it? It's not my notes. I just want, while I have your attention, I want to point you to some relevant workshops that we have, okay, where we can help you and your teams in other ways. And then if anyone wants to hang around after, David and I will be around if you have any questions. We're going to play one more game if anyone wants to hang around. But I did want to finish on time, and because we said 3:45. So I'll just show you some other ways that we can help your team. We've got two very exciting new masterclasses coming soon, which we're developing. The first one is creating the environment to thrive. This is for leaders and managers. And, do you want to do you want to know how to cultivate the prime conditions for thriving teams? To take them from surviving to thriving, to build a culture of trust and resilience. This session is all about looking at the concepts like psychological safety, mistakes and failure, and repurposing them into opportunities for learning, innovation, and growth. It's, hopefully you can see some of what we've done today and how that stuff is really valuable. Next up, we have cracking the engagement puzzle. And this is actually being developed by David. This is how, if you want to understand how human motivation works, basically, we'll be codifying human motivation for you into critical elements like personal agency, appreciation and belonging, creativity and play, meaning and progress. And you'll have that code so that you can tap into it as a manager to engage and retain your top talent. So another excellent session. We also have expert facilitation at Think Productive. So we've got expert facilitators who can support you with team away days or even tricky team conversations. They can join you at your meeting or event and help you move your team towards a common goal, or to constructively tackle thorny issues or problem solve so that everyone's on board and feels heard. And if you're leaving today, and the improv has brought you out in a cold sweat, but you want to feel more comfortable and confident in your presenting, then our next free webinar will be run by our UK presentations expert, Dominic Kratchmar, on the 6th of July. And I'll post the link in the chat in a second. And it will be an interactive Q&A. So you can bring all your presentation problems or stresses, and Dom will help you feel more confident by the end of it. I will share the link in a sec. I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, yes, there's one more thing now that we want to do before you all head off. David, the secret handshake.
That's right. It's time for you to reveal your secret handshake. So find your team members in the circle, and as we go, and feel free to stick around because we're going to play another game. But if you have to go, just do your secret handshake, everybody, on 3 with your team members. 1, 2, 3. Secret handshake.
Oh.
What?
Productive ninjas.
Oh, wow. Yes, good handshakes. Good handshakes.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, perfect handshakes. Yeah, and if we thank you so much. Thanks so much for coming. It's super fun to share these kind of tools with you all. And if you're looking for more improv for your teams or any events you're having, you contact Elena, and we can do that with Think Productive and help get you into that. Hopefully you saw, it was so quick because we wanted to get you into the experience, but hopefully you saw how, Isabel said it's energizing. Lucy said, it's impressive how sometimes quickly people can think on their feet. It's a different way of being when we're so in the moment. And that's what makes it so energizing. We're so connected with each other. We're so in the moment. We're listening so intently. And it's a way of being we rarely access at work. But if you access it more and train it more, you'll really unlock a whole lot of energy for yourself and your team. So really, that's what we want to leave you with.
Yeah.
In that. And if you want to stick around, let's play another game. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.